Hello and welcome to Ziggy Air. Today it's a very exciting day. Today we're going to fly from Tri-City Regional Airport in Tennessee to Trenton Rubbersville Airport in New Jersey. So this is today it's a very exciting day because we're doing two things. We're gonna fly in the new acquisition for Ziggy Air, the A2 simulation Piper Commanche. So this aircraft recently came out, so we're going to use this aircraft to recreate a flight from a great organization that Ziggy and I just recently discovered is Pilots to the Rescue. So if you don't know Pilots to the Rescue, I think we're gonna talk about Pilots to the Rescue a little bit more in detail as we cruise into New Jersey. So we are recreating this flight where the Pilots to the Rescue help bring in 10 puppies from Texas to New Jersey, and this is one of the legs that they flew. So apparently some of the puppies came in by car and some other ways, and they got here into Tennessee, into this airport, and so Pilots to the Rescue then did the last leg to the New Jersey, the Rubbersville Airport in New Jersey. So we're gonna do that in the A2A simulation Piper Commanche, and I'm really excited. I have to, I've taken this plane for a spin a couple of times, and I gotta tell you, it's fantastic. The level of details that they created here, the A2 simulations, they've created a fantastic aircraft. It flies really well. And then we're going to show you how this flight took place to save these puppies that came in from the south to shelters in the New Jersey area. All right, so we're in the cockpit of the Piper Commanche, and we're going to kind of quickly go through the startup procedure. So it has this tablet here that's very, very helpful, and it gives you flight information. It gives you all kinds of information about the controls, and you can set this up, and there are plenty of videos around how you do this. So I'm not going to go into all of this. I'm just going to show you a couple of things. I did fly this aircraft before, and I had a little mishap, so I'm just going to make sure that I inspect the aircraft and make sure that we are okay to fly these puppies and nothing is going to happen. So conveniently, this it's just going to show you the areas where the aircraft may have some issues. So if everything's on the green, we're good to go. We don't need to do anything like that. And so we're just going to move into the engine, and we'll do the same thing, and the engine looks pretty good. And the same thing with the electrical systems and the engine pistons and all that. So everything looks in top shape. We'll do a walk around as part of our pre-flight procedures, and then we'll get going. All right, so let's actually do the walk around. And this right here is very convenient. So if you click on the last tab and you come down here and you click on the front here, it'll bring you to the front of the plane, and you can just kind of take a look at your propellers and make sure they're all good, there's no damage to them, and then you just move around. There is a way of checking your oil over here, and this is all very important actually. If you are flying with low oil, or it's, oil that looks pretty dark, then that's going to be an issue. And I think we're a little bit low here in oil, and we'll just add a little bit more later on before we take off. So that's something that we're gonna note, and we're going to make sure that we put in a little bit more oil in there. And we'll make sure that the fuel selectors, we're going to start with, let's start with the right tank on, so we'll keep that on. And let's go to the mixture, which is gonna be rich over here. Set it rich to rich. We're gonna crank the throttle a little bit, just about that. We're gonna put the prop forward. We make sure the carb heat is off. We'll go back to the master switch and we turn that on. We'll go to the fuel pump and turn that on. And we'll make sure there's fuel pressure over here, that pressure is in the green. Just give it a little bit of weight there, that's good. And we gotta make sure that the fuel pump is off once that pressure is in there. And shut that off. And come back, and the next thing will be we're gonna prime it. So now one of the things about this plane is depends on the primer will depend on your outside temperature. So right now we're comfortable 55 degrees here, so we really don't need to prime it. Anything above 40 degrees we really don't need to prime it. That will be up to you. We're not gonna prime it. We're gonna set the magnetos to both, and we're gonna clear the prop area and engage the starter and check the oil pressure and then lean as necessary. All right, so clear prop.
Ground Ziggy 1123 Zulu Alpha 112 IFR to November 87, ready to copy.
All right. We just completed the run-up, and we're just before takeoff checklist. We checked the elevator trim and just making sure that the trims are neutral over here. That's good. Flaps as desired. We're not going to use any flaps. The doors are closed and locked over here. And fuel selector as desired. We already did that. We make sure that we are on the left tank and the left tank only. So we'll select that. Fuel pump will be on, which is on. And mixture to fully rich. Props forward over here. Prop heat off. Engines gauges checked. We have a flight plan already set up. We'll just go to the map. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna be taking off from runway 5 and then slight turn to the right and then just pick up that GPS flight plan. Strobes as required. We don't need the beacon anymore. And I just do a strobes. We don't need the landing lights, and we're good to go. All right, our puppies are good. How about puppies? Come on. All right. No whining, okay? We're good to go. A little bit of right rudder. Gonna be taking off around 85 knots. There we go. We'll just wait until that runway is out of sight, so we just retract the landing gear after that to make sure that if we need to, we can get back to it. All right, landing gear, and we'll hold about a 500 feet per minute to 1,000 climb rate, and we're just gonna take a slight right turn. I am telling you, this plane is a joy to hand fly. All right, let's talk a little bit about Pilots to the Rescue. Great organization. If you're in Facebook, you can follow them over there. They have a page on Facebook. And by the way, if you are also on Facebook, you can follow Ziggy Air. So if you type Ziggy Air, you'll see me over there. Well, you see Ziggy. But Pilots to the Rescue. Great organization. They have a great media presence, and so you can take a look at the rescue flights they've done. They advocate for adoption, and they always have some great statistics about, you know, the pet overpopulation. So, you know, a lot of rescue flights are from the south, where there's a lot of shelters are full. And unfortunately, when that happens and they can't have, you know, people adopt those pets, they have to euthanize them. So a lot of these organizations like Pilots to the Rescue, they fly these pets to the northern states where there are shelters that are willing to take those, and people are willing to adopt those pets. And that's really how we got Ziggy. Ziggy came to us as we adopted her during the pandemic, just before the pandemic hit, and we were all locked up and doing remote work. So at the time, so we picked her up, and you know, we've lost our 14-year-old cat Pippin. She was one of the greatest cats too. She was great, and she kind of grew up with our family. And it was kind of hard for us to go through that. So we were actually looking for a pet, and then, you know, I saw Ziggy immediately. She was there. She was cute as hell. She was about 7 months old, but she had this big sign that says not good with other pets, not good with kids, you know, only, you know, not good with many people in the home and stuff like that. So she had all this baggage with her, and so I called my wife, and she said, well, I really want to I don't want a boring cat. I don't want a cat that's just gonna, you know, sit around and sleep all the time and do nothing. I want a crazy cat. So they told me over there, well, if you want a crazy cat, that's a crazy cat over there. So we picked her up, we brought her in, and she was crazy. She broke a TV, she broke blinds. Yeah, that's you, yeah. And but she was just a joy. She was very playful too, and she was very loving. And when we all got working remote and we were locked up, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 came out. And I've been a fan of Flight Simulator for a really long time, since 1984, since, you know, one of the first versions that came out. And so I picked up Flight Simulator, and then I would sit and set up flights, and she would just jump on my lap and stay there for the duration of the flight. And she would pay attention. She looked at the plane. So I kind of gave her the title of co-pilot. So the idea of this, this YouTube channel to kind of document her flights and stuff like that came about. And then we really kind of focusing now on our passion is to make sure that if people are looking for a pet, that they don't buy, they adopt, and that really promoting adoption. So when we fly to different cities on Flight Simulator, I always kind of have include in those flights shelters that are in the cities that we fly into, so we kind of promote those pet adoptions in there. And so we looked at we came across this great organization which really a fit for our channel, which is Pilots to the Rescue, because these are pilots. These are real pilots. I'm a fake pilot, but these are real pilots that do God's work in terms of rescuing pets and bringing them. So like I said, they have their Facebook page, they have an Instagram page, they do have they have also a website here where you can take a look at their mission statements here about what they do in terms of, they are a volunteer nonprofit organization, benefit aviation organization that the mission is to transport domestic and endangered animals at risk. So they kind of go over the problem and looking at the number of pets that have been euthanized each year. So that's almost 1 million pets in shelters that are euthanized, including 390,000 dogs and 530,000 cats. I shouldn't say that too loud. And so they go to those overcrowded shelters, and mostly they are in the South, Florida, Texas, and things like that, and then they just bring them to shelters in other states where they can be adopted. So here at the website, you can take a look at you can request a rescue, and then if you're a receiving shelter, you can post your availability of that you have space for those animals. And then they have also in need of transporters, people that can volunteer to kind of save the animals that you can donate, and to help the cause. They also have some stats here in terms of the number of missions they've flown and the number of miles and saved: 665 souls, 404 dogs, 260 cats, and 1 wolf. Look at that. So take a look at their website. Take a look at if you have a question or anything like that, just email them. They're very responsive. They're really nice people. I've been in contact with them, so you can donate or you can offer your help or request a mission. So in Facebook you can see some of the pictures here and all that, and you can just take a look at all the flights they've done. It's very nice. So one of the things that if you are willing to help out, they're trying to raise some money to buy one of these the caravan here. It's a big one. Just imagine how many pets can be transported in a aircraft like this. This is a really great aircraft. I have one in the simulator. It flies really well. It's has a lot of space. So they're trying to raise that $250,000 to purchase this caravan. And if you are willing, and I'm just gonna give them a love here. If you're willing to donate to help that, go ahead and do that. That's fantastic. So our airport should be just to our 11 o'clock. Just looking for that. I think I see it. Alright, so I think we need to get ready for descent here. So, mixture fully rich, RPMs high, and we're going to reduce our manifold pressure right there. I think we are a little bit too high, so we may have to just go around a bit here. Gonna disconnect the autopilot. Last set of flaps. Alright, that wasn't too bad. Let's take this exit over here. What do you think, puppies? How was that for you guys? Huh? Not saying anything yet? Alright, let's get this plane cleaned up here.